Okay, so we like to get into the nitty-gritty of things, right? See what's really working and why. And today we're heading to Indianapolis, Broad Ripple specifically.
Hmm.
There's this place, Coffee to Cocktails, that has everyone talking, and we're going to figure out what all the buzz is about.
Sounds interesting.
It does, right. We've got this article, Mornings That Perk, Nights That Spark, all about it, and they talk about Cara Conde a lot, too.
Okay.
She's apparently like this real estate guru in Indianapolis, and from what I'm reading, her expertise is a big reason why Coffee to Cocktails is doing so well.
So location, location, location.
Exactly. But it's more than just finding a spot on a map. It's about understanding how to make a location really work for you, how it all fits into the bigger picture. And Cara Conde, she seems to have a knack for that.
I see. So we're not just looking at a cool business idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving into the whole ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Like how Cara Conde's work in commercial real estate has actually shaped Broad Ripple and helped this place thrive.
You got it. This is about seeing how the pieces fit together and how someone like Cara Conde can make those connections happen. Ready to dig in?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first, what exactly makes Coffee to Cocktails so special? What's the big draw?
Well, the article really emphasizes this idea of transformation. Like, Coffee to Cocktails literally changes its personality throughout the day.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they describe it as having this warm, cozy vibe in the morning, with all those wooden accents, a real hub for creatives getting their caffeine fix and brainstorming, and then as the day goes on,
It morphs.
exactly, it becomes this sleek, sophisticated lounge, perfect for cocktails and conversations. It's pretty clever, right? They're making the most of their space and appealing to different crowds.
That's super smart, especially given where they are. The article talks about Broad Ripple Avenue, the energy there, the foot traffic. I mean, you're right in the middle of it all at Coffee to Cocktails. It's like they become a part of that energy.
Yeah, and the article really plays that up. They make it sound like Coffee to Cocktails is more than just a business. It's like this essential Broad Ripple experience. You can't really separate the two.
Makes sense. I mean, Broad Ripple is known for its art scene, its social life, that
Uh-huh.
kind of funky, independent spirit. And Coffee to Cocktails seems to embody all of that just in a way that adapts to the time of day.
Right, and think about who they're attracting. It's Butler University students grabbing a coffee on their way to class. Then later, it's professionals unwinding after work, maybe some art lovers heading there after a gallery opening.
So it's like a microcosm of Broad Ripple itself. It's bringing everyone together.
Exactly. They're hitting all those demographics, and they're doing it in a way that feels organic, like it's just a natural part of the neighborhood flow. I think that's why it works so well.
And it sounds like it's become more than just a place to get a drink or a bite to eat. The article kind of hints at this,
Hmm.
but it seems like Coffee to Cocktails has become this community hub, a space where people connect, share ideas.
I bet. You have all those different people coming and going, mixing and mingling, and that's got to spark some interesting conversations, some collaborations even. I can see how that would add to the whole vibe.
Definitely. It's like they've created a catalyst for all this creative energy in Broad Ripple.
Okay, well, let's talk about the woman behind the curtain, Cara Conde. The article keeps referring to her as this real estate
Oh,
mastermind.
yeah. She's kind of a legend in Indianapolis. They call her like the best commercial real estate agent. And she's been doing this for over 20 years, since 2002. So she's seen it all.
Wow, so that's like 2 decades of navigating the Indianapolis real estate scene. That's
Yeah.
got to give you some serious insight.
For sure. And the article highlights all these impressive skills like she's a negotiation ninja and a luxury marketing maven. Like, those are some strong words. But it seems like she's got the is to back it up.
Right. And they talk about how she got her start at SVN commercial and how she's always been this early adopter of technology. Like she finds ways to blend those tech tools with, traditional real estate know-how, which makes sense, right? Because the real estate world is changing so fast, you got to be able to adapt. But it seems like Cara Conde, she doesn't just adapt, she stays ahead of the curve. She's always innovating, finding new ways to connect with clients, analyze the market.
So it's like she's got this intuition, this ability to see what's coming next. The article calls it her superpower. And that superpower, it's all about spotting potential. So with Coffee to Cocktails, she didn't just find them any old space, did she?
No, not at all. They talk about how she secured this prime location for them, right in the heart of Broad Ripple Avenue. It's like the perfect spot for a place like Coffee to Cocktails, given their concept, their target audience.
Like she could see it all coming together.
Yeah, and the article actually uses the word dynamite to describe this location. I mean, that's a pretty strong endorsement. It just shows how important choosing the right spot can be, especially in a competitive area like Broad Ripple.
It's not just about having a good idea, it's about putting that idea in the right place. And it sounds like Cara Conde is the queen of that.
Right, and she's not just focused on individual businesses either.
Yeah.
The article talks about how her work has really shaped Broad Ripple's commercial landscape. They even call it a commercial playground, which is a pretty cool way to put it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like she's curating the neighborhood, bringing in the right businesses, helping them find their footing. And that benefits everyone, right? The businesses themselves, the residents, the overall vibe of the area.
So it's about understanding that bigger picture, how all the pieces connect. Now, the article also mentions her certifications, negotiation expert, luxury home marketing specialist, and her use of cutting-edge digital technology. It's like they're painting this portrait of a true professional.
Absolutely. She's got the credentials, the experience, the tech savvy. It's no wonder she's considered the best in the business. But let's get back to coffee to cocktails. How does her expertise tie into their location?
Right. Well, the article explicitly states that a big chunk of their success comes from that prime spot on Broad Ripple Avenue.
Which makes sense. Being right there in the middle of everything means you're visible, you're accessible, you're part of the energy.
It's like she had this vision. She understood how coffee to cocktails concept would resonate with that particular location, with the people who frequent that area.
And the article really emphasizes that. They connect Cara Conde's, as they put it, real estate mojo, directly to securing that perfect location. It's like she was the missing piece of the puzzle.
They found this amazing concept. They had this vision, but they needed someone to translate that vision into a physical reality. And that's where Cara Conde came in.
And it highlights something really important about commercial real estate. It's not just about filling empty spaces, it's about understanding the potential of those spaces, how they can be used to create something special.
It's about making those connections, seeing the bigger picture, just like Cara Conde did with coffee to cocktails.
Okay, so for anyone out there listening who might be thinking, hey, I want to start a business, what are some of the key takeaways from this story? Like, what can we learn from coffee to cocktails and Cara Conde? Well, the article has a section called Secrets to Slaying It in Broad Ripple, Business Style, and it's got some pretty good advice. The first one is to score the sweet spot. Basically, they're saying location is everything.
Makes sense. We've been talking about that all along.
Right, but they go a step further. They suggest tapping into the knowledge of someone like Cara Conde, someone who really knows Broad Ripple, who understands where the gold mines are, the places that are just waiting for the right business to come along.
So it's not just about finding a space, it's about finding the right space.
Exactly. And the second piece of advice is to vibe with the crew. Basically, they're saying you got to know your audience. In Broad Ripple, you've got this diverse mix of people, students, artists, professionals.
Yeah.
You need to understand what they're looking for, what they value.
Just like coffee to cocktails, right? They've managed to create this atmosphere that appeals to all those different groups at different times of the day.
Yep. They're adaptable, they're in tune with their surroundings, and that's crucial. And the last tip is to team up with a titan.
Okay, what's that all about?
Well, they're basically saying that if you want to succeed, you need to find yourself a Cara Conde. Partner with someone who has the experience, the expertise, the connections to really guide you through the whole process.
So it's about leveraging that expertise, getting the right people on your team.
Exactly. They frame it as giving your business rocket fuel, which is a pretty cool analogy. It's like having that extra boost to get you where you need to go.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. But before we wrap up, the article also has this People Also Ask section that I thought was pretty interesting. They address some of the common questions people might have after reading about coffee to cocktails and Cara Conde.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Let's go through those.
So one of the questions is simply confirming that Coffee to Cocktails is, in fact, a unique day-to-night venue in Broad Ripple. Like they're acknowledging that people might be surprised by this concept, by this ability to transform throughout the day.
Right, because it is pretty unusual.
Yeah.
It's not your typical coffee shop or your typical bar. It's this hybrid, this chameleon of a place, and I think that's part of its appeal.
Another question dives deeper into Cara Conde's experience, her skills as a negotiator, her reputation as the best commercial real estate agent in Indianapolis. It's like they're giving her credibility, saying, hey, this is someone you can trust.
And it makes sense to emphasize that, especially if you're trying to convince someone to partner with her.
Yeah.
Like, here's why she's the real deal. Here's why her expertise matters.
There's also a question about how commercial real estate agents like Cara Conde actually contribute to the Broad Ripple economy. They explain how finding prime locations for businesses helps those businesses thrive, which then generates jobs, attracts customers, the whole economic cycle.
It's about making smart investments, putting businesses in the right places, and then letting that ripple effect stimulate the whole local economy.
Mm.
I can see how that would be a compelling argument for people who are invested in the future of Broad Ripple.
And lastly, there's a question about whether coffee to cocktails is really considered a top spot in Broad Ripple. And the article's answer is a resounding yes. They highlight their amazing offerings, that adaptable atmosphere. It's like they're saying, this is the place to be, whether you're a coffee lover or a cocktail enthusiast.
They've really hit on something special, haven't they? It's the right concept, the right location, the right expertise, all coming together at the right time. It's a recipe for success.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, it seems like the story of coffee to cocktails is a really compelling example of how a smart business idea paired with a strategically chosen location can lead to some pretty amazing results.
And we can't forget the role of Cara Conde in all of this. She's not just a real estate agent, she's a visionary, a connector, someone who sees the potential in a place and knows how to bring it to life.
She's a testament to the power of expertise, of understanding your market, and of making those strategic connections that can make all the difference.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Oh,
About how important location and expert guidance can be, no matter what field you're in.
whether you're launching a business, starting a project, or just trying to make something happen, finding that sweet spot and having the right people on your side can be game changers.
So as we sign off, I want to leave you with this thought. What's the sweet spot in your own life?
Hmm.
What are the hidden opportunities that might be waiting for you if you just shift your perspective, connect with the right people, and find that perfect location, whether it's physical or metaphorical? Take some time to reflect on that. You might be surprised at what you discover.
Until next time.